We are looking forward to intriguing and entertaining you every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Let me start today's show by saying thank you for joining our family, which is biological by nature, LoveLogical by choice, DNA not required. Well, good evening. Today is Tuesday. You know what that means? No, that's always in my head every Tuesday, which is why I put it up there. For those of you who have no idea what it is, it's the Mickey Mouse Club from back in the 1960s. I was one of those original kids back in the day, late 60s, watching the Mickey Mouse Club with the Mouseketeers, and Tuesday was their song. So welcome to LoveLogical DNA Not Required, where today is Tuesday. And you know what that means. I have a special guest. So today I have the Gaines, and they are a blended family filled with faith. They have a YouTube channel, and I want to pronounce your name properly because I didn't spell it right. So I'm going to let you pronounce it.
It's Takia.
And, okay, it's Takia. And because I didn't spell it right. That H got me.
We call it Kiki for short.
Okay. Oh, I can remember Kiki.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have Drew and Kiki.
Yes.
From the Gaines Effect. They had their first YouTube channel show that's out there. Is the second show up yet? Is it going up?
Second show is posted.
Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't up there last night, was it?
Nope.
Oh,
I didn't think so. I'm like, wait a minute. Because I watched it last week, and I was going back over it last night, everybody, so that I could kind of make sure that I had some details and, and wanted to see if they're going to be as nervous today as they were during that first broadcast. And wait a minute, what's your song about the click?
Oh, like, follow, subscribe.
In that order.
Yes.
Like,
follow, subscribe, and she's in the background. She's just going. So we want y'all to go to LoveLogical and like.
Yes.
And follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
And subscribe to us on Podcast Detroit. How's that?
Yes.
I need to have Kiki come and sing for me.
Yes. Like, follow, subscribe.
In that order.
So, Drew and Kiki, would you please introduce yourselves on your own? If you want to just say a little bit about you, what it is you do, and then we'll go into your LoveLogical.
All right, well, I'm Drew Gaines, and what we do, personally what we do, my wife and I, we have a business where we're focused on the Gaines Effect, where it's an umbrella of things and businesses that we do, and one of them is family and business and promoting wealth within our family. Okay. And then my wife, she's a brilliant mastermind, Takia, at just helping small businesses get off the ground or getting those starter businesses off the ground.
Okay.
And she works with people. She does business coaching and consulting, and so we just try to pull people's dreams forward and help them manifest their dreams and their business and ideas that they want to do.
Okay.
Maybe really
Come on, mastermind.
She is. She's researching and doing all kind of
sound big. Okay.
all kind of good stuff. She can really, I've seen her just pull some businesses through and get them started. So
see, see your husband. He got your back.
I know, right? I was like, who are you talking about?
He just gave her a commercial.
Hello. Now. Yes, so I actually left my job to do this, and
really?
Also to be a full-time mom. So I'm full-time mom, as well as getting our business, an entrepreneur getting our business. So he is my investor, as I like to say.
Okay, all right, hubby investor. This is awesome. I mean, I'm telling you, I found out about Kiki and Drew through a friend of mine, Katanya. Mm-hmm. And Katanya said, you have to meet this young couple. She said, they are amazing.
Aww.
Oh, wow.
And your personality, just talking to you on the phone, and then I went and looked at your social media, looked at your YouTube channel, and the personalities are both there for both of them. They both have these huge smiles. And once you go to the Gaines Effect, you'll see that they like to laugh a lot, which that's one of the things that I learned growing up. That helps to maintain a relationship, because my parents used to laugh a lot. when I was coming up, and I'm a laugher too. People think that I'm serious, and then when they get to know me, they're like, "Man, you kind of too silly sometimes." But you know what?
I often get that a lot. Like people don't know when I'm serious or when
Yeah.
I'm joking.
With me, they think that I'm very serious, and then once they get to know me, they're like, "You're not serious at all." Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
But I promise my kids no twerking in public.
They probably say, thank you.
We appreciate it.
So, you are a blended family,
Yes.
and there are no steps in your family. And for those of you who don't understand, with LoveLogical, my mother's theory was growing up is there was nobody stepping on anyone in her house. So with nobody stepping on anyone in her house, there were no step parents. So, and from what what I've gained from you, Kiki, is that Drew, you ain't stepping on nobody. You truly LoveLogical super dad over there. Da 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 da.
Right.
Oh, I try to be.
He is. He's amazing.
I'm gonna let your wife share her thoughts of you as a LoveLogical dad. Go for it.
I believe that there are no words there that I can ever express or ever form to say how much of an awesome father he is to our daughter. In particular, we have 2 children, but just speaking about our daughter in particular, it was kind of, I guess, all of a sudden, if you will. We went from, I think, 6 years with it just being me and my daughter. And then when we didn't live together prior to marriage. So when we got married, it was kind of like, boom, we're all in this house. We're all in this house together. And he took on that role as if he had always had her, like he was there from day one. He actually was the kind of, I want to say, like full-time. I was in corporate America, so, it's like you have to be there at a certain time.
Right.
And I had a high demand, and he had a little bit more flexibility. And he made sure that she was up in the morning, took her to school, got her after school, made sure her homework was done. So that adjusting period, he really took that on. And he really, I think it wasn't until we were praying one night in our living room, and the way that he pulled from heaven and he asked God, and he said, let the DNA that's in me be spread onto my child, because he took on that role wholeheartedly. And he said, this is my daughter. And when he, even when he prays for her, it's not from a step or a bonus. This is my daughter. And he understands that, and he parents that way. You see the love that flows from him to her, and it's. I believe that each child, you love them in a different way. I don't believe that you love children the same way, and there is a different love that he shows her every time. So I am very thankful. He makes up that difference.
You're blessed.
He makes up the difference.
Wow. I see you over there getting emotional.
Oh, wow.
I wanted her to say it because when, we were talking on the phone, you could feel the love come through the telephone, and it's really, it's refreshing to see and hear so much love, LoveLogical is, it's a lifestyle, it's a heart, and you guys have that heart, both of you. My father was a LoveLogical dad to my brothers and sisters. My mother had 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 4. And when they had me, my brothers and sisters were between the ages of 10 and 14. And there was no difference. My father did exactly what you are doing. He stepped up, and he did it right. And that's what you're doing. I commend you for that.
Thank you. I grew up actually in a blended family, so it's and yeah, I thought that growing up that way, I was like, I don't want to be a step parent per se, because I knew the growing pains of it all. But when I fell in love with Takia, I just didn't fall in love with her. I fell in love with her daughter, and I said I'm up for the challenge because this is what I want to do, and so that's how. We became this family.
Yes, she believes that he married her, and she'll tell you. Like, we just had the conversation. Our wedding anniversary is coming up, And every anniversary we talk about, we should go out of town, and she was like, so are we all going out of town? And it's like, no, just us two. And she was like, I don't understand. He married me too. And she told him recently, I think you need to buy me a ring. Because she's serious. She's like, you married me too. And she holds him to that and make sure that he knows that. So now we decided that we're going to create a special day for her to let her know, we're going to have to do it for
It's
her.
going to be her day for the
it's
three
gonna
of
be
you
her
to
day.
celebrate.
We all came together.
We all came together, so maybe it'll be on the 18th or the 17th, but we have to figure out,
So you can have your time.
so she can have.
Right, it was a full family discussion. Okay, so what's going on here? What we doing?
Yes, every single year, it never fails. And I think even when we were going on our honeymoon, she thought that she was coming too. Like, I'm coming too, right? Like, we both got married. I don't understand. When he proposed to us both.
Okay.
He asked her, can I be your daddy? And, she was like, yeah. So, she remembers that, and she brings it back up and put it on the table for us and say, hey, I need you guys to understand that I have to have my day. So
now, how old was she when you two met?
She was 6 years old.
Okay.
And so when we got married, she was 8, I believe.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And you're about to celebrate your second wedding anniversary or your third?
Third anniversary.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
So we've been doing this for about a good 3 years, just all in one house, just
Right.
learning each other, growing together as a family. So that's been it's been a journey.
You're right.
The beginning of this journey is it's exciting. I don't know everything. I mean, you can read a lot of books about it and learn from other people's experiences, but everybody's experiences is just different. Nobody
different.
is the same, but I try to dig in my toolbox, and I just try to approach it from a place of love and just asking God to help me to understand. Like I asked God to help me understand my wife, help me understand my daughter.
Mm-hmm. When you decided that you wanted to propose, how did you come upon the decision of proposing to both together?
Well, I knew that it was a decision. Like you can't be just the husband and just not love the children if
Correct.
they have children. I always learned as growing up, because I came from a blended family. Once again, that the decision that my mother, who is my LoveLogical mother,
Okay.
she made a decision to love not only my father but us as well. And I never heard her, like, throughout her being my mom, I never heard her refer to us as stepchildren. She always introduced us as, oh, this is my sons, and my sons is my boys, and that's the kind of approach I wanted to do, because I knew that feeling to be accepted, and I wanted her to know what it's like to be accepted. A lot of people, like, we have our own child together, but and that's my biological son, but to be chosen is the best feeling in the world, to be chosen.
It is. That's one of the reasons why my tagline is biological by nature, LoveLogical by choice, DNA not required. That makes a huge difference, because when you are chosen and you're loved right, that says a lot about the person, and it also builds the self-esteem within the child. It does. And when you have a biological parent present with a LoveLogical parent, I like LoveLogical because sometimes when kids are with their biological and their LoveLogical, they have a tendency to want to say step because they don't want to disrespect or they don't want to anger their biological parent. So if you say LoveLogical, the love is still in it. And it's given the respect and honor.
And it's all, based out of love, just being a man of faith and how God chooses us. He said many are called, but few are chosen. But we are chosen.
We are chosen
of God, and that's a really good feeling. So why wouldn't I exhibit that, to her and show her what it's like to feel chosen? Not just choosing your mom and just saying, oh, well, you just part of the deal.
Come along for the ride.
You're right. You ride along. No, it's a responsibility to make her feel just as loved and appreciated, and it's an honor and a privilege to be your dad.
Yes.
It really is.
The thing is, once she matures and realizes what she has, and I'm sure she knows now, but as an adult, once she realizes what she's had, there's nothing that a man is going to be able to do to not love her right, because she's gotten the love at home, and by having that at home, it's going to groom her into being a woman who's going to be respected the way that you respect her mom, and you respect her.
Definitely.
That means a lot.
Yeah, but I want to be that bar and that standard. It's how she see me take care of her mom and take care of the house and things in that nature. I want her to be able to find that example and and know what actually love is. Like you have to find out, compare it. Like there has to be some type of comparison to something, so you can measure that bar and say, he don't do that, and my dad does that. He treats my mom like that. So yeah, I want her to be able to have that reference point.
That's cool. Do you tell us how you proposed? How did you propose to them?
That's actually one of my favorite memories.
I'm sure.
Takia, she's a very intuitive person, so she doesn't like, I don't say she doesn't like surprises, but it's hard to surprise her because she's always meddling and trying to figure something out, and it's just like, chill out, like simmer down. So I knew I wanted to, do it at a park. I wanted both of our families to be there. So I set up where I, talked to her mom and talked to her dad and her family, and I said, my family, I said, we're going to be at the park at this time. We was at, I think it was Metro Park Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And we said, we're going to be at the park at this time. Y'all going to, be at the shed. We're going to barbecue. We're going to have a good time. And I told her that we was going to a company picnic. And so we were walking towards the shed. We were up and down the beach. I couldn't find the shed. So I'm like, where's this shed at? Yeah. So I'm really lost. And I'm trying to play it off like, oh, yeah. It's over here. So we're finally walking. We find the shed, and we're finally walking towards it. And she saying, why is such and such here at the company picnic? And so we get closer, and then everybody just yells out surprise, and then I get down on one knee, and I proposed to her, and my daughter at the time, she didn't know what was going on. She was just like, what?
She had her little bike. Like,
what's going on? What? And so, I got down on one knee, and, after I proposed to her, I proposed to my daughter, and I said, do you want me to be your dad? And she was like, yeah.
Oh, just yeah.
Yeah, sure. I was like, oh, don't say nothing.
That weekend was, so the day before was our daughter's birthday. So we took her out to dinner, and we did the blended family. So her other side was there as well.
Nice.
But my friends were there, and nobody said anything. Like that, it was Saturday, and then he proposed on Sunday. I went to church. I did like my normal do on Saturday, and when we came back to home, my mother wasn't there. Nobody was there. I was like, "Where is everybody at? And why no one's answering their phone?" So when he's like, we're going to the company event, and I just thought it was weird. And I said, "Well, something's up," and I can't quite put my finger on it, but something's up. And sure enough, I was like, oh, this is what's up. And it was funny because I had friends at church. Nobody let it out. I was like,
that's good.
Nobody
though. You
let
know
it
how
out
rare
the
that
bag.
is? Because
Yeah.
somebody usually slips and says
Very rare.
something or start acting strange. And
I had no idea. I was like, wow, you guys really kept this in. I was like, who does something 2 days in a row with somebody? Typically you only get somebody for one day. So I was like, you guys are like here again? People came from out of town. I think we had cousins come from Chicago. So it was a really good day.
Everybody was really excited.
so you had the whole family present, and you managed to have everybody keep it a secret. Did you
about
No,
threaten
75 people.
I didn't. People know me, so I don't typically do stuff like this.
Yes.
So when they know it's like, oh, this is real, this is serious. Especially if I ask of anybody to do things, 'cause I don't believe in wasting people's time, and I'm very that's me. I don't waste people's time. So if I'm asking you to be there, you're special to me. Show up, be in order.
Yes, it was about a good 75 to almost maybe 100 people there, and I was like,
Wow.
Oh, you
I-
exaggerate. It was probably like 60 people.
It was
If that.
about
I don't think it was that many.
75.
100 people.
It really was. He has a really big family on all three sides. Everyone, it's a huge family, and my family is big as well. So when everyone showed up, I was like, "Really? You got my dad to come?" I was like, "Wow."
Well, you know your daddy wasn't going to miss that.
I was like, "Wow." My dad works a lot. Like he works like crazy
But his
hours.
baby was being proposed
So
to.
I was like, "Wow, how you manage that?" My dad. So I was really excited. Like, wow.
See, daddy knew what was going on. He wasn't
Exactly.
going to miss that moment. Yeah, he wasn't going to miss it at all. I think that it's interesting how you met.
Yes.
I think that's very interesting how you met.
Oh, yeah. So she went to the same church as my parents. And so it was pretty interesting. My parents, they usually do the backyard barbecue thing. And so they said, come over. And I was like, okay. At the time, I didn't have a vehicle at the time. So my friend, she brought me over to my parents' house and we ate. And she was there. And it was like, oh, hey, wasn't thinking too much about her. I mean, I just knew about her because my parents said, she's our spiritual daughter. She's there. And didn't think too much about it. Ate, left. And then like a whole year later, it was like
wait.
my parents said, they had, wanted to do something special for my mom. And my dad said, come on and, we're going to do this, surprise video for your mom. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so she was there. And I walked in, I was like, oh, yeah, she looked, she looked really nice. Okay. And so as we're going around doing the videotaping and everything like that for the video for my mom, and I was like, so what you doing? You want to go to a movie or something like that? And I was like, since we're going to be, you're going to be close to my parents, we got to get to know each other and things of that nature. So we actually went out to the movie that night, and we've been going out ever since.
Going out ever since.
Knowing that movie didn't have nothing to do with his mama and daddy.
It didn't have nothing to do
Nothing
with
to
it.
do with his mama and daddy.
God was really working on this thing prior to. So even, how I came to be their spiritual parents, I had came to the church. It's funny because we had joined the same church like maybe 2 months apart. So I came, I think in like December, they were there in like January, February, and we started to sit next to each other. And we had a women's event, and the Lord like really pressed upon my heart. I had been praying at the time for like spiritual parents. I was like, I need someone to help me with my walk. I need someone to help me with my walk. And he laid our mother on my heart, and he began to tell me things about her. And so at the event, I was nervous because I was like, did I really hear what I heard? So I started asking her questions, and she was like, yes, that's true. So I was like, so would you feel about being my spiritual parents? Like, what do you think your husband? I was like, can you go back and talk to him? And she said, yeah. So even before he was in the picture, we had a relationship established, and God was already orchestrating, down the line that him and I would be married because we didn't even see it. I think the day at the picnic, I thought the young lady who was with him was his girlfriend. Not that I was like, checking for him or anything, but I really thought, I was like, oh, that's his girlfriend. That's my brother. I thought we were going to be brother and sisters. So
He looking at her like,
that year later.
It wasn't nothing that was on him. It was amazing what a year can do. It was just like, it's like a year. It's like, oh, this ain't the same.
It was
it's
kind
the
of
same
like,
person.
he walked through the back door, and it was kind of like this light bulb moment for me, and was like, wow, I was saying in my mind, like, he wasn't this fine last year. I don't quite remember him being, what happened? Like, it was almost like we didn't see each other that prior year. Like, it wasn't time. Then when it was time, it was like we saw each other, and ever since that day, he was like, can I get your number? And he ended up calling me at night, and I was like, I'm not doing anything. I guess we can just hang out. And we never knew that it would turn into this.
Hanging out.
We were going to be hanging out.
Here we go. I was like, wow. And
raising families.
Just remember meeting her daughter for the first time. And I was just like, wow. That's a little person. And it was like a fireworks that day. And we went to the park. And it was just like, she was really cool. I mean, it's memories that are just always being printed in my heart forever.
That is amazing. What is your favorite moment that you could think of that you had just with you and your daughter?
Man, we have so many. She likes to sing and dance and things in that nature, and I like to just get up and sing and dance too. So
Okay.
I feel like we was made for each other. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Like, oh yes, this is what I always wanted. Somebody to just clown around with me, and I would say just when we are looking at videos in the house and we're dancing and she does all the latest dances and things like that, and I try to school her like, oh yeah, like back in the day we used to dance like that, and she'd be like, oh, in the old days, like in 1990s. Like the old days, 1990s. But yeah, those are like probably my favorite memory. My favorite memory is just definitely just when, proposing on that proposal day, and just seeing her and her little bike on the beach and just getting down on one knee and just giving her a necklace, and I so good memories.
So you gave her a necklace when you proposed, and you gave her mama a ring.
I gave her mom a ring, but on the day that we actually got married, I gave her a necklace on it. So
that's nice.
And just I had vows for my wife and I had vows for my daughter. So
that's very nice. What significance does the necklace have?
Well, the necklace, it had 3 hearts on there, so it was a heart for representing me, representing her mother, and representing her, and it was on one string, so it represented, just three hearts, 3 loves. So you surrounded by love.
I like that. I like that a lot. Wow.
Oh yes, that broke me down.
Did it?
It broke me down. And he vowed to her that I'm going to push you. Some days you may not like it, but just know that I'm committed to making sure that you are the best Aaliyah you can be. And so that really broke me down. So
that is just so amazing. Okay, Drew, so what advice would you give to a man who does not have biological children coming into a relationship with a woman with children? What advice would you give? Because you said you never thought that you would really date someone that had a child. No. So give us some advice here.
So my advice is to definitely approach it from a place of acceptance. Nobody likes rejection. Nobody likes to feel left out. It's something I try to make her feel included in the love and that I'm presenting. So I would say that you have to approach it from a place of love and how you want to be loved and respected. And oftentimes it's hard because, like I said, growing up in a blended family, and you feel like you have to choose between the two. And if you love one, it's gonna make the other one feel bad, and I didn't want her to necessarily feel that way. I want her to know that it's okay to love them both. And so maybe my love is a little bit too strong, so I don't just dump it all at one time because it may be too much for her. I take the punches too. You have to be strong. You have to have thick skin because kids at that age, when it's just been her and her mom for about a good 6 years, and it's just like, here you come with your rules. It's going to be a little bit of resistance there and a little bit of I don't like it. And so you have to have thick skin, and you just have to, just remember to dust it off and look at the greater picture and the greater purpose. Not an easy thing to do. I don't say I always get it right, because sometimes I'm like, ooh, that hurt. Oh, you hurt me hard right there, girl.
Because kids will be blunt with you.
Yes,
they will. Kids are the most realest creatures that we have on this planet. They don't have any filters, and so you gotta have that little grace and that little mercy there. Don't mean you always have to be a punching bag, but you definitely have to come from a place where you have to have thick skin. You have to rub it off, and I encourage other fathers that are marrying women that have children to link up with other guys too, and then you guys share experiences and find out what works, and okay, this works in your household. How can I put my own smell and scent on it in my own house and see how that works? So. And then I'm the kind of person that feels like, I feel bad when I feel like it's just me, but when I also confide in other people, I'm like, oh, it's not just me. You feel a little bit better. Like, oh, this is happening not just even to LoveLogical parents, it's happening to the biological parent too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you feel like it's like, oh, okay, it's not just me. So
Minutes
it makes you
together.
feel a little bit better.
Yeah. So I think especially with girls because girls start having like hormonal episodes early on, earlier than people think. You know, I think that it starts at 1.
Right. Yes. It's like, hey.
Y'all think you get your first eye roll about 2.
Yep. Sassiness come from. I agree.
So I think that's great advice. Great advice for men. I think I think the LoveLogical fathers should come together, like you said, and talk to each other and get that advice from each other. That makes a huge difference.
It does.
It really does, because it takes a special man to be a LoveLogical father. It really
It
does.
does.
Now, how old were you when your LoveLogical mom came in your life?
I was, I was really young. Well, my mom had my mother had remarried first, and so I had a LoveLogical dad, and then later on, I was probably about the same age as my daughter is or was. But it's about 6, 7 when she.
Oh, for a long time.
For a long time, she's been there. So
you had that example on both ends.
On both ends, and I knew things didn't quite work out well for my mom and her husband, and so I kind of got a taste of the do's and don'ts.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so this type of parenting didn't necessarily work as a LoveLogical parent. So and one did, and I was like, I like the way this feels because it was more warm, it was more welcoming, more friendly versus and I think this being young, I didn't even know that's that was his way of showing love. It was just different from my dad's. And so I was like, okay, so maybe my love that I'm showing towards my daughter is probably different from the love that her dad is giving. He may love in a different way than I do. So trying to help her learn the difference that it's okay,
That's cool. I like the way you put that you realize that he showed love in a different way.
Now that I'm older, when I was young, I was just like, my dad don't do that, my dad, tells us he loves us and things like that. But his love language was, I provide
more
for you.
actions.
I give you, it's more actions. I give you guys gifts and things of that nature. I didn't know that. My dad, my biological dad, he's a loving man. He gives hugs and he gives kisses and he, plays around and things of that nature. So it was just not knowing at the time. But now that I'm older, and I was like, okay, so I take those tools and I take those memories and I say, okay, my daughter may feel the same way, so it may be a little bit weird because I am a huggy person and I love and I try to I play a lot and I laugh and joke a lot and so I'm that type of parent and I try to tell her I'm not really, I don't like punishments, I don't like discipline at all, just be cool with, don't bring that side out of me and we it could work, it could be kind of cool, but I got with duty calls.
So, Kiki, are you the disciplinarian in the house?
I am very much so. I am. We just had a conversation about I am very the mama bear. And Drew, I love marriage because it really helps balance you out. And Drew is he's very mellow. He's very laid back. He is very just logical. And I'm like, oh my God, the end of the world is coming. And now that she's going into these teenage years, she'll be 11 this year. And she was asking, we were just talking about social media. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. We're not having social media. And Drew's like, well, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, because she's a tweener.
Exactly. Let's have a conversation. And he really brought it all the way back down. And I was like, wow, you are really amazing at this stuff. So I know, going into her teenage years, I believe that right now she is still more clingy to mom. Mom, mom, it's mom, everything. I said, I think she's going to make this turn, and it's going to be like, oh, Drewster, I can't tell mom. Please don't tell mom this, but I have to tell you this. I think she really is because I would even go to him before I come to me. Sometimes I know that I can just be like, oh my God, I can turn into mama bear mode. And he always, to me, he always has the perfect answer. I'm like, wow, I didn't think about it like that. So, with the whole social media talk, he sat her down and had a conversation with her. And he said, we're going to ease into this. And, I was like, wow, that really works. Because I was like, no, It's not happening. So I love, what he brings and how he really like, okay, Takia, let's talk about this first. It's not just a no. It's not a hard no. Like, let's help her out and let's, ease our way into this. So I appreciate that about him.
So, okay, Drewster,
Right.
how would you what was your suggestion for easing in? Give some parents advice.
You have to like my mother. She always she had candid conversations with us. Actually, both of my mothers, and they always talked to us and made it plain and simple, and it was easy for us to kind of like put two and two together. Like, oh, okay, that's pretty good, and we were able to just have those conversations. And a lot of parents, they don't. I'm learning that they don't talk to their children because it's just something they don't want to talk about. And I'm like, yeah, let's go there. Let's talk about it.
See, I was blessed. Mine talked to me about everything and sometimes too much.
Wow. Wow.
But I welcome it, and I welcomed it, and I'm glad now. My mother's been gone for many years, but the lessons, I try to be very open in talking to my daughter, because I talked to my mother about things that a lot of my friends could not discuss with their mom.
Oh, yeah.
And it sounds like you're opening up a home to where your daughter's going to come to you for advice, both of you, and not to her friends first.
Yeah, and that's the environment we want to create.
Yep.
And like I said, I don't always get it right. I'm still learning this parenting thing. Like, I think we had a serious conversation going, and I could not keep a straight face to save my life. It was like, whoa. And I couldn't bring it back down. It was just like, okay, this is what you want to do? Like, whoa. But, later it was like, okay, we got that out the way. Now let's talk about it now. And now that I'm able to process everything, it's just like some things just kind of catch you off guard. So,
well, don't forget that clone the phone, because as they're starting to get, acclimated to social media and getting followers and all that, make sure you know exactly what's going on.
We talked about that. We just talked about predators and things like that, and how they will, lure you from your phone, from a place we were showing. Drew showed her videos on YouTube, about a little girl who was thinking that she's innocently texting someone from her school, and come to find out, he says, let's meet up. And she walks down the street and never to be seen again. So, we are very open about, human trafficking, knowing that that's real. This is real. And
in Detroit, Michigan.
Michigan. And one thing that I grew up, and my mother used to always say, like, I'm not your friend. I'm not your friend. I'm your mother first. And I just recently went back and apologized to Aaliyah and said, you know what? I was saying the same thing. I'm not your friend. I said, yes, I am your friend. I'm your best friend. And I was like, what happens with best friends is they tell each other everything. They share each other's, secrets and things like that. I want her to be just that open with me, that she'll come to me and say, this is my best friend. And we know with all of any best friend that you have, you're going to be as open as you want to be with your best friend. So I told her, I was like, we are best friends. We really are. And she was like, really? I was like, no, really, we are. Pinky promised that we really are. And I really opened that door back up for her to say, I want you to tell me everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. If it hurts me, I want you to tell me. I may have to say, okay, I got to take a pause. This is way too much. But we can then sit back down and talk about it. And if it's that hard of conversation, say, Mommy, I don't need you to get mad. Let's, start it like that. But I want you to always come to me and have those conversations, especially in this day and time. It's so important that we are having those conversations.
You have to have a conversation with your kids.
Yep.
And it's important for both parents to have a conversation, because daddy's going to bring a different perspective than mom. Mom is going to bring, that a different perspective than dad. That's just the way that it is. Yep. And people need to talk to their kids. Turn off the tablets, the phones, and talk. Yeah. And I'm a parent who's guilty when it comes to social media, because with LoveLogical and all of the pressure of you got to post, you got to this, you got to that, you got to this, and everything that you do now, it seems like social media has to take a precedence over other things. And that's hard when you're an entrepreneur trying to run a business and a home.
Yep.
You know, you have clients calling, you have all types of, classes that you're taking. You have so much going on that I realized that I was looking at my phone way too much.
Mm-hmm.
And I need to trying to think, delete some phone time.
Mm-hmm.
I need to delete some phone time and start putting that thing down,
Yep.
closing my laptop,
Mm-hmm.
because building a business is hard,
Oh, yes.
but raising a child is harder.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to give that child priority.
Yep, their time, they need it. Things that I've learned, and I'm still learning through this process is that even as we run our business, I prioritize everything around them. The best thing that I've learned about being an entrepreneur that you don't get in corporate America is that I have the flexibility. I create my own schedule. So our schedules revolves around our children. So I do the most of, my work. I try to do it in the morning. My son, he's young, so he has his time. He has playtime, and then there's educational time. So when he's doing educational time, I'm like, okay, let me do this post. And then when she gets home, it's like I try not to schedule any meetings or things like that around her time. And we have a strict schedule, a strict bedtime schedule in our household. Everyone is in bed by 9 o'clock.
Oh.
So when 9 o'clock comes, if it's business things that I need to do, I usually take that time from 9 to 1 a.m. And if it takes me longer, it takes me longer, so that I give them their time. They need their time. And I think that's why the reason why we started the Gains Effect was to really show entrepreneurs that this is a marriage. Like, you can really do family and business. When we have taping is done inside of our home. So when that happens, we made it so it's an environment where she can be involved. Today, she knew we were coming here, and she was like, wow. She's like, what are you guys going to talk about? And I said, what we're going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about you. And she was like, really? I said, you are the sole reason why we're doing this particular podcast. And she was like, really? And I was like, really? It's because of you. We couldn't have done it without you.
Right.
And she knows that. So we make it a family affair so that they get their time and we also can still take care of business. So it's not for them. They're like, well, the little one, he doesn't really know. But for her, during our intro, she has so much fun. She is she wouldn't like it if she heard me say dramatic, but she is drama. Like, she is an actress. Like, it's who she is, both of them, and them two together. So incorporating that, we knew that we had to do something. And eventually, if you keep watching the YouTube channel, you'll see her come on, and she's going to talk, and she's going to share. She inspired it. She was like, I want a camera, and I want to do a YouTube show. It was all inspired by her. So to bring her on and say, hey, this is your business too. Because
She's going to be producing pretty soon.
Right. It's our legacy, but it's really yours. And we want them to know that we're doing this for you, to generational wealth, that we're passing this down.
All right. See, I love it. I love it. Now, I have a question. Is your baby number 3 on the way?
Baby number 3 is on the way.
All right. When I saw that on Facebook, I'm like, okay.
Baby number 3 is in the belly, cooking right now.
Yes.
October 8th, we are expecting baby number 3.
My daughter's birthday is October 10th.
Oh,
She'd be trying to
wow.
cheer you on.
Right.
Yeah.
Send her 2 more days. Just 2 more days. Yes.
That
Yes,
is
we're
so
excited
cool.
to see what this looks like.
Congratulations.
Right.
To do a family of 5 and
Well,
with businesses and full-time jobs, and
the
You can
favors
do
there.
it. You can do it. You can do it.
but it's definitely being organized. It's being prioritizing and putting things in order.
Yes.
Okay. When will you find out what you're having?
I
Boy
still
or
have
girl, are
about a
you going to
few more
wait?
weeks.
Are you going to wait?
No, I think I want to know.
You want to know?
I think we want to know.
Oh,
He really doesn't care. He's like, I want to know. I need to know. I need to prepare.
I did not know with my son.
Wow.
He's older. He's 32. So I didn't know with him. I could have known, but I didn't want to.
Wow.
I wanted the surprise that my ancestors had.
Wow.
That's the way I looked at it.
Wow,
That's
that's
true.
a great way
Yeah.
of looking
Because
at
they
it.
didn't know.
Yeah, because they had no way of knowing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it wasn't until that baby was born that, they found out what they were having. So you were in suspense all of those months, and now people, they have a big, to do about the gender reveals and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I think that the biggest gender reveal is at the end
Mm-hmm.
when you
Yeah.
find out what
That's
you're
true.
having.
Yeah.
And my daughter I knew, but my ex-husband had cancer.
Oh.
So, throughout my entire pregnancy with her, we were going back and forth to Ann Arbor for chemo treatments, and he had a bone marrow transplant right after she was born
wow.
and
Wow.
everything. So, with her. But had he not known, she helped him fight.
Wow.
She helped her daddy fight.
Mhm.
But I think that had I had more children, I think I would have gone back to not knowing.
Really? Wow.
And I think it's so hard for us nowadays because of the technology,
Mm-hmm.
because you can literally see your child's face now.
Yep.
Everything.
3D.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I seen somebody, they had like an app or something. Well, an app and then a little thing you can plug into your phone where you can do your own ultrasound
Doppler.
at home. So,
Wow.
yeah, I saw that come across my screen. I was scrolling. I said, what?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to be doing that every day.
No.
I don't know if
No.
I want to do that every day. So I want to ask you a question. We have a few minutes left here. And when you heard of LoveLogical, what was your thoughts? Can you see LoveLogical being a word that you would use? Can you see LoveLogical as being something that's needed to help make a difference in some people's lives? And be honest with me. I accept constructive criticism very well. Facebook, close your ears.
Absolutely. I think it's a hidden treasure. And I think it's so needed, and I think it needs to be not only discovered, but it needs its own larger platform.
Okay.
I think that it's like one of those things that sometimes you struggle with behind closed doors, but had you had like the AA meeting or the LoveLogical meeting, it will make life much easier for you. I know for us, or I'll speak just for myself. I wish that I had, a community of LoveLogical parents, even from, my side of it, as, the wife who has the husband and who has, the biological child. I had to navigate those waters and figure them out, and still figuring it out. So I wish that this was, and I can't wait. Not that I wish, I know it's going to be a larger platform.
Thank you.
And I know that God is going to open up doors, because it is a bridge. It's a bridge that we need, and it's conversations that we need to have. Regardless of how hard or difficult they are, we need to have the conversations and not shy away from them, and bring this thing full circle. Like, God is a God of reconciliation, and he's a God of family and love, and that's what it's all about. That's the heart of it, and that, I believe, is your heart of it.
It is. It's who I am. Drew, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is I love this idea. I do. I think about it often. I'm like, man, why isn't nobody talking about this? It's needed in our communities. We are. I mean, it's a blended family. Like, it seemed like everywhere you go, even later on in life, if a parent decides, makes a transition, and then that other parent decides to get remarried again, I mean, it's like there's constant blending, and the conversation needs to be continued. Ideas and thoughts need to be shared, and I think it's an amazing idea, and I co-sign with my wife, and knowing that this is going to be on a larger platform, because it's a much needed conversation.
I appreciate that. I really do, because it's who I am. And I had someone tell me the other day that I have to open up and show it more. And I'm like, how can I show it any more than what I do? But I need to put it out on social media more, is what they're saying, because it's truly who I am, and it's who I really want the world to be. And meeting people like you who have LoveLogical hearts, it makes a huge difference. It really makes a huge difference. I truly appreciate you guys coming on the show. I've already subscribed to the Gaines Effect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will be doing some more YouTube interviews. I have some out there now that I've done a few years ago, and I plan on doing more. So I would more than likely be interested in coming to visit the Gaines Effect and see how things are going with baby Gaines that's in the incubator. So thank you for coming out today.
Thank you
and
for having us.
tell people on YouTube, everyone, go to just search the Gaines, GAINES effect on YouTube, and you will find their channel. Go on it, like it, no, 1 minute, go with your song.
Like, follow, subscribe.
In that order.
So like, follow, and subscribe to the Gaines Effect, and watch them grow. You know, don't come on with the negativity. We're not accepting that.
No.
If positive comments only, watch them grow from the first episode to their own television show on one of the ABC, NBC, CBS, YouTube, or not YouTube, what any of the shows is out there, Hulu, Netflix, you know. So we're gonna watch them grow. We're gonna speak it out there for them. And before I go, I want to share that I am having an event on Sunday called Herefordance, and it's Herefordance Barbershop Talks. We are going to the Methodist Children's Home Society in Redford. That is one of the only male homes of its size within all 3 counties. We have 50 boys that's going to be getting their hair cut. I need more barbers. I need more barbers for this Sunday. So if anyone is listening, you know barbers. I need barbers from all ethnic backgrounds to come out and help cut hair this Sunday. That's the 17th of March from 9 until 2. And I know that it's a Sunday, but God knows where you're going to be, because that's one of the only days that's available where we can get barbers out of their shops to cut hair. You know, a lot of people don't like you messing with their money. So definitely 9 to 2. It's going to be a great time. I want to say thank you to the Grace Centers of Hope in Pontiac for helping out with snacks. I want to say thank you to the Well for helping out with beverages. I want to say thank you to the Bridge. I want to say thank you to everyone who's helping to donate something for this day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And give me a call at 800-829-0406 or info@lovelogical.com if you can volunteer some time, or if you want to cater, help with the breakfast or lunch. Just let us know what you could do to help make this day a successful day, because 50 boys is a lot of boys to feed, and their ages 5 to 18. So definitely. Thank you, Drew and Kiki. I appreciate having you here.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Big old smiles, big old hearts. LoveLogical, DNA not required. Biological by nature, LoveLogical by choice. Love you guys, and thank you for being here today.